it's going to sound woo to you, because you've taken the identity thrust upon you. Take the identity of John, Saint Julien, who can get a driving license and a bank account and was born in this particular country. All of those labels and concepts are constructs of the human mind. They're not constructs of the original reality. It doesn't mean they're bad, they're beneficial. We need them. We need law and order and so on and so forth. But if you identify as that construct, you're going to miss the understanding of the true nature of yourself.
Spirit bird, she creaks and groans, she knows she has seen this all before. She has seen this all before. She has. Spirit bird, she creaks and groans, she knows she has seen.
So, synchronicity is when God speaks to you. Now, God tried to forewarn me of a health crisis, as I said in my last video, and I missed it, unfortunately. I missed the post. But I didn't miss the advice, and I did understand that I was being guided towards a certain pain relief, and I've never used pain relief except CBD oil throughout this, but CBD doesn't come close to what these things do. And when you're in that much pain that your whole body's in cramp, it helps to free your mind as well. The tension of my body, I hadn't realised how much pain I was in till I took that. So that was me on a personal note, but those same synchronicities that came in the form of number sequences, predominantly for me, they guided me to be in Tanzania to build this. And they still guide us. And those same numbers still are involved as well. 2 weeks ago we opened the new channel, the new YouTube channel. It's not ready, it's a little bit slapdash, we rushed it out. But we did so with a reason, and it'll be worked on when things stabilise and Fritzy and I get time, or we get the right person to assist with it. The channel went live on the Monday. We didn't tell you about it though, we just left it there so we could change the link on the website, etc. On the Wednesday, I received an email from the Dodo. The Dodo is a massive social media platform that deals with feel-good animal stories. The email basically said, we want to feature my animal rescue videos on the Dodo. And naturally we agreed, and I said the publicity from that is brilliant, and I'm so grateful. But it was weird that they didn't find my channel, they found the new channel that had no views on the videos. That's what they found them on there. Now, I said to Fritzy on that Wednesday night, as we were replying to the email, we need a new website for the Animal Rescue. The Animal Rescue has this tiny little narrow space on the Share Tanzania website for donations, etc. But in itself, it's a huge charitable project on its own, and the stories and the dogs it helps, they're all part of it, you know. They deserve their own decent website. Now they have a website, we have a website for that, but it's not very good. It's old. I built it myself when I was first here, and I just did the best I could. I'd never built a website before, and that was the best I could do. Not ideal. So I only said that to Fritzy. I didn't say that to anybody else. I didn't say it publicly. I didn't say it anywhere, nor did Fritzy. I just said that on the Wednesday. On the Thursday morning, a guy called Benjamin sent us an email saying it was 11 minutes past 6, and he said, I would like to offer you to rebuild your animal rescue website for free. Now, the reason I said I want a new site is I said if we're getting publicity on the dogs all of a sudden, we should have a good website, so as when that happens, people are comfortable giving donations. Our Oliver video went viral. It's got like 2 million hits nearly, and the website put a lot of people off, I know it did, from donating to the work, because they couldn't quite see if we were active, etc., because the website now diverts you back to the Share Tanzania one. So I knew we needed it for that reason. We need funding for everything, especially the dogs is the least funded project we have, and it's the biggest struggle for us. So Fritzi told me about this email, and I said, what time did it come? And she said 11 minutes past 6. And I said, that guy's in America. And she went, how do you know? And I said, he is, because I'm betting that he sent that at a 4-hour time difference. 5-hour time difference, sorry. And that he sent it at 11:11. So we Skyped Benjamin, and he's working on the website now. And I said, do you know you sent that at 11:11? And he went, no, it is. And I said, no, my brain works that way. I looked at the time and I saw it was 6:11, and I immediately intuitively said, this guy's in America. And he told us that he was just laid on the couch on his sofa at home, and he just got the idea to send the email, so he sent it off from his smartphone. And indeed, he had sent it at 11:11. So our new YouTube channel, the Dodo finds it when there's no subs, no views, etc. After the Dodo find it, I tell Fritzi we should definitely get a new website for the animal rescue somehow. The following morning, upon telling nobody of that, somebody reaches out and says, can I rebuild your animal rescue website for you free of charge? That person hadn't even realized that they sent it at 11:11, but I intuitively picked up based on the fact of the time it arrived, and this happens so frequently in my life that that's what it was. You know, getting into the flow state with the universe is so important. You get into this state where you're able to manifest, and the whispers that come from the light that embodies us all, those angles of light, those angels, those messengers of God, those angles of light that have photons, which are particles carrying information and messages, come along, and they are all interwoven and interconnected. And they whisper to all of us. And those of us who are present-minded enough, those of us who enter a thoughtless state enough, we adhere to those whispers because they are more like a scream to do something. But it's not a scream in your carnal body, it's in your soul, in your heart, in your core. And indeed, an angel whispered, or an angle of light carrying a photon whispered into Benjamin's ear. And he heard our prayer, and God answered the prayer with a human being, which is something I try to reiterate constantly to a lot of people who follow Abrahamic faiths. Always create this boundary where they think God's going to come and do it for them. But in actual fact, God's waiting to come and do it through you or through the next guy. Because that is ultimately the relationship we have. That's why free will allows the planet to be destroyed, because within inside the expression of free will, God will not overthrow you. He will not overpower that. But at the same time, God can do as much work on the planet as free will allows, because when you allow your free will to be set aside and say, let God's will be done, thy will be done upon and in and around my life, then you're able to surrender the free will, which tends to predominantly in our modern society be an expression of the carnal mind and the flesh. Because you see that it's a beautiful gift, but it's not the be-all and end-all. Because we are not just an intellectual animal. That can create arrogance in us. We are beings of light, living inside a fleshly body. Now the flesh can be louder than the being that you are, but I strongly advise you make the flesh silent, and the last connection between the light and the flesh is the mind, is the thinking mind. And when you make that quiet, that's when you embrace the world of synchronicity, and that's when God speaks. That's where God speaks. That's where you hear God, that's where He creates what He wants to in your life. That's where he builds and changes to suit the morally righteous desires of the hearts of those who call to him. And thus, that was another big synchronicity this week, which has changed so much for us, because we get that website, we're going on to the Dodo, and the exposure will be presumably quite great, because a lot of their videos have 7 to 8 million hits on them, etc. So, yeah, I'm very tired and half asleep here today. I'm conscious of that. This is Samson. Samson's arrived finally. So, synchronicities, guys. I've had endless synchronicities in my life that have led me to help children, led me to help dogs, led me to Tanzania. And I might start doing some story time videos, you know, because as I'm busy in the background trying to get my dogs are killing me, trying to get my book written. My hard drive got wiped by a faulty charge controller on the solar power, and I lost a lot of work, but must have been meant to be. I must have been writing it in the wrong way. And the more I do, I go through these stories of synchronicity, and I think I should be sharing these and doing some story time with you all, and I think I will, you know, I'll start doing that. So, anyway, to get a meaningful coincidence, get your carnal mind out of the way, you know, get this rules, regulations plugged into the matrix mind of yourself over with. You know, it's not you, it's an entanglement of shite which is needed, but you need to untangle from time to time to recognize your true nature. You know, so long as you believe you're that which was birthed into the system, birthed into the matrix, you're going to struggle with that. It's going to sound woo to you, because you've taken the identity thrust upon you. Take the identity of John, Saint Julien, who can get a driving license and a bank account and was born in this particular country. All of those labels and concepts are constructs of the human mind. They're not constructs of the original reality. It doesn't mean they're bad, they're beneficial. We need them. We need law and order and so on and so forth. But if you identify as that construct, you're going to miss the understanding of the true nature of yourself. And I know people who will receive messages from God that are so clear and there in their face, but they're in their brain. There are rules, regulations, plugged into the matrix kind of person. And due to that, it all becomes an impossibility for them to even recognize when it's actually happening. Even when they're present-minded enough for them to come to them, for them to get the message, I'll see the message in their life before they do. And it's purely because they have not yet realized their true identity. They may meditate, they may do yoga, they may do meditation and clear their mind, and they may do all of it, they may pray, but just that key component is missing. And that key component is that they still identify as that which they were raised to identify as. And that destroys the beauty of the way this world works. They are the people who go out and say, this is a plant and it photosynthesizes. And I'm the person who goes out and say, but what is it made of? What's its essence? What is it? And other people will not even grasp what I mean. Those are the people who tend to condemn the concept of synchronicity. But some of the greatest minds in the world were completely aware of this, and none greater than Carl Gustav Jung, the very man who coined the term synchronicity, as that which is a meaningful coincidence rooted in the divine consciousness of reality. In other words, God speaks. God bless, guys. Bye. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, as it really helps us to grow the channel and with it help more children here in Tanzania. Also, don't forget you can support our work by sharing with children in crisis here, be it sharing for a particular need or even sharing one-on-one support for education, housing, food and medical care. It can be done for as little as the cost of a cup of coffee a week back in the West after all.
Just visit www.sharetanzania.co.uk to find out more. Lastly, remember you can also support us via Patreon, www.patreon.com/featherstail, and help keep us here in Tanzania to continue our work. The links for the website and for the Patreon are in the description box of this video. Love and light, guys. See you soon.